Okay.
Let's see.
Can y'all hear me all right?
Yep.
Cool. Because, like I told y'all, I'm like going across America right now.
Yeah.
So it might drop in and out, but I'm here for you.
It's okay, thank you. I appreciate you being here in the first place. So.
I appreciate being invited. It makes me feel special.
But yeah, where are you right now?
Cool.
Iowa.
Nice.
All
But
right.
you guys can do me well, right?
Yeah. Every now and then it kind of glitches, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my Wi-Fi is. So.
All right.
Welcome to College Station.
So you guys are currently live now.
What's up?
You guys are currently live. People are dropping in, saying hi.
Okay.
Hi.
Do I need to be on the YouTube thing too?
Yeah, this is going to be saved to the YouTube.
Okay.
Once it's done being live, it's going to be cut off. Oliver, do you kind of
It's
want to
gonna be on there forever.
what's going on?
Oh dear.
All right, let me go to that real quick so I can see everyone saying hi. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our cosplay positivity panel. So, if you guys aren't aware, we were doing a cosplay contest, but unfortunately, we did not get enough signups. So I did have to go with another idea and do this positivity panel instead. And I feel like this panel will probably be a little better because I feel that a lot of people were discouraged to join the contest, which is why we didn't get a lot of submissions in the first place. And also, I feel like a lot of people in the server are still just starting out in cosplay. So I think this will help you know how to get started. So first we're going to introduce ourselves. My name is Oliver. I go by also Thigh High Booty Prince on Discord, Instagram, and then on TikTok, I'm Lil Squid Prince. Like if it's like my rapper name or something. And I've been cosplaying for about roughly 8 years now. So I started when I was in 8th grade. So, and then and we can go to Colossal if you want to also introduce yourself.
Yeah. So I'm Colossal Senpai. I've been cosplaying since 2014 after high school. I would say I'm semi-pro. I travel across the country to go guest and judge at places. I've won 8 contests, I believe, and I primarily focus on performance. So a lot of body positivity because you got to put yourself out there. And yeah, I'm here to hopefully get a good look into it.
Yeah, sure. And KK, you go ahead.
Hi, I'm KK or Kaylee or KK Cos or Yo Boy. I've been cosplaying for, I just had to count it out, for 7 years. Also since 2014, which is wild. I've been going in and out. I don't really do that much, but it's been a trip, and I'm really excited to share experiences with everyone else. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Me? Okay. Hey, I'm Dog Feathers. Sorry, I can't hear. Hey, what's up? I'm Ruben or Rue, whatever you know me by. I go by Dog Feathers on Instagram and TikTok as well. After hearing y'all's stories, I feel like such a baby. I've been cosplaying for 2 years. Actually,
2
yes.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I
It's
started
better than mine.
Yeah, I started in 2018, but I've only been really cosplaying for real since quarantine started because your boy got bored enough. So I'm excited to be
the motivation you need. So.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm just excited to be here.
You guys know who I am?
No, but yeah, see, like that's another like example. Ruben's been cosplaying for 2 years and they're already so good. Like,
thank you.
Yeah.
I guarantee my first cosplay was not good. It was Keith from Voltron, and it wasn't good.
Dude, my Sarah wig is actually supposed to be for Keith, but I cut it up. It's wild.
Oh man, I remember my little cosplaying days.
All right, so really quick.
And then go ahead.
All I'd like to say is you guys already know who I am. I'm not going to be here the entire time. There is going to be a bit of a Q&A section at the end, and I will be here for that, so I can be reading off chat, questions, things like that. But for now, it's pretty much going to be more of a talking panel or closer to a seminar. I believe the main subject is cosplay positivity and like how to get into cosplay, tips and tricks, stuff like that. It's all being led by our Bakugo right here, Thigh Booty Prince. He's going to be leading the whole thing.
Deku, but...
Yeah, couldn't find the green contacts.
Yeah,
but...
I was supposed to be Deku, but I couldn't find my contacts. But then I did find them, but it was already like 5:50. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna be Bakugo.
But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and head out. This thing is going to be kept streaming.
Okay.
And I will tune back in once it gets to around the Q&A section. All right, take it away.
All right, see you later. All right.
For more tips and tricks, what I've heard is that there's going to be another panel tomorrow by our bro here, Colossal, about more tips and tricks on how to, rather than why it's good to cosplay.
Yes.
Why? How,
yes.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry. We'll talk about that later. We're talking about positivity now.
Later.
Yeah. You're good. You're good. It's good to always promote your own panel as well. All right. So So basically, like Andreas had said, we'll be discussing like desire to cosplay, and how you shouldn't really be afraid to take up this hobby, because really that's all it is. It's just a hobby. I feel like nowadays, when cosplay first started, it was definitely just seen as that's just what all like the weird weeaboos do. The people who dress up like Naruto and go running around in a Walmart. That's what those people do. But nowadays, cosplay is seen as a much more competitive thing. And unfortunately, that's just what happens when things get really popular, and then they really discourage a lot of people to try and take up a certain hobby, because they think, oh, I'm never gonna get as good as like for example, like actor costs. I'm never like people like think they're never gonna get to that level, but
oh my gosh.
First of all, Amanda's amazing.
or like Bucket Brown, or
Bucket
was
Brown,
it Jessica
praise
Jessica Nigiri or whatever?
Praise the bucket. but yeah, but this is basically this panel is to tell you that you can look at these people and admire them, but also understand that they didn't just start out amazing. They had to go through this journey as well that you all are going through right now. We all had to go through the same journey.
They all have the posts that are archived that no one can see anymore.
Yeah. I kind of been wanting to do that, but I'm like, no, I'm just gonna leave it there. But basically, so what does it take to cosplay? These are a lot of the questions that we're gonna be talking about are questions that I personally get a lot, and I'm sure that everybody else here gets a lot. Like, what does it take to cosplay? How can we get started? What do I need to cosplay? Am I allowed to cosplay certain characters? And the general answer to all that is that cosplay is for everybody. Cosplay is for anybody, and you can be anybody you want. It doesn't matter like your skin color or your gender or what you look like your size or how short or how tall you are. Or where you come from or how much money you have. Literally anybody can cosplay, and that's the beauty of it. When I first started out, my cosplay was, my first ever cosplay was Prussia from Hitalia. It was a very, very low tier cosplay. I say low tier because it was something my parents had gifted me for Christmas. They bought me a white wig and they bought me the whole cosplay. But I wasn't doing like the more like modern military uniform. I did like the Prussian like Revolution like uniform with the feathered hat and everything. So I was like, I'm gonna do this differently. I was still wearing my glasses. I didn't have contacts. I didn't even style the wig. All I did was like pin it back with bobby pins. And then I went to IkiCon, my first ever con, and everybody loved my cosplay. So I was doing something right. But yeah, that was like a start cosplay. But now I can actually style wigs, and I wear contacts, and I wear makeup, and I make my own cosplays now. And yeah, you always start somewhere.
Yeah, one of my first cosplays was actually from Homestuck. So there was the whole thing of looking at my friends or looking at people that I liked and wondering, wow, how does everybody just turn gray? Let me try that. And then that didn't work out well at all.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It was gone.
It was like gone at the end of the day.
Yeah, or it was patchy because I didn't put it on right, and I just had like chunks of like my cheek out and be like, ooh, I'm gray, look at me. Ooh. It was wild.
Yeah, and for me, my first cosplay had nothing to do with body paint. It's the absolute opposite. I was Colossal Titan from Attack on Titan. I was in a morph suit, and it was hot and sweaty, and I wore the same costume the entire con. And it was an absolute disaster. But it skyrocketed me to some kind of fandom because I had people follow me afterwards. But, like, dear Lord, you can start with anything and end with anything. It's all okay. It's all cosplay. It's all acceptable. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to read the. Oh no, everyone's saying that I'm kind of glitching, but it's okay.
A little bit.
You're a little glitchy, but it's all right.
You guys can still at least make out what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's what matters. All right, and what about you? What was your first ever cosplay? How was that?
I was gonna say one of my first, like I said, my first cosplay was Keith from Voltron. But like, okay, yeah, I like for some reason I had this like vendetta in my head against wigs. Like, you were not gonna put me in a wig, so I didn't. But my hair was already short, and I could kind of style it like Keith. But I guess me thinking I was gonna save money, decided to go to Party City and get black hairspray. Let's just say, okay, because my friend was going as Shiro, and his looked amazing. I was like, boy, you want me following you around? I look so on a different level. But so we like go in the bath because like, okay, ours didn't have like the open balcony. This was at IkiCon 2018. But we went in the bathroom and like I was just like I had to like stick my head over the tub and like spray my hair black and like try and style it. But here's the thing that I didn't realize about the like. I had also got his red jacket from Amazon, so it was already poorly made. And I also had on a white binder. Wrong idea. Not a good idea. Because this black hairspray ran down and got all over the jacket and the white binder.
Oh no.
Just don't like that. I guess that's the only thing. If you're gonna save on money, please don't buy hairspray that's colored. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Really. Absolutely. So one of my first contest entries was Jack Frost, and I have like a dookie brown hair. All right, so that with the white spray didn't really work out. I still won, but the absolute massacre that was my head the day after.
No.
And just like I should have just thrown baby powder on myself. Honestly, it would have been better. But hairspray is okay to use. Like, don't say it's not, because it's a starting point, and everybody needs. Some people can't afford wigs, but you can afford a can. All right, just use it sparingly.
Yes.
Wash it out immediately. Wear it for like 10 minutes at most, and wash it out immediately.
Yeah. Don't do what I did. I wore it for like 5 hours. Don't do that.
No, I think I did. Probably 10 hours. 10 hours of it, and the day after, I had the best like hair wash ever. My hair is silky smooth.
Oh my god, yeah, I've definitely never used the hairspray method, but I have used my real hair for cosplay before. I did it when I cosplayed for the time, and my hair was short off, a dark brown, just like his. So I was able to just kind of style it the best I could, and then I went to school like that. I went to school in full on Attack on Titan cosplay with the straps and all, and I was like, "Look at me." To be fair, it was a dress-up day, but still,
like that's a big key. That's a big key. A lot of the people I know started their cosplay during high school, which is the perfect time to. It's a perfect time to jump off because you have the support of your family sometimes, but you can just kind of get away with it, and it's a good testing grounds. And the school days are like the perfect time to show off.
Oh yeah, especially if you can't go to cons. Like, if you want to show off a cosplay, go to school in your cosplay. As long as you do it within the rules. But
when I did high school cosplays, I did Dave Strider from Hamsteak, and that was just, oh wow, who are you? Who you're dressed as? Why do you look like a dude? You're a girl. Where's your boobs? I know you had big boobs. Where'd they go, man? And I'd be like, I'm just cosplaying, dude. Just like chill out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big thing in a few years.
It was wild.
That's where you find the difference between cosplay and costuming, because like the people who are, let's say, commoners, the normies, they know it as just you're dressing up as costume as whatever, but to us it's cosplay. So when you go out into public and you really dive into these characters, people aren't going to know how to handle this. So you gotta be positive about it. Really? And
but I was like 14.
Hey man, it don't matter.
Yeah. My thing is that if you go out, that is another thing we could talk about. If you do go out and just don't be afraid to cosplay in public. Especially nowadays, it's a lot more accepting to do. You might still get like those people who are gonna look at you weird. I haven't for a while. I haven't gotten anybody who's like really like been like, what are you supposed to be doing? But I have had a lot of people approach me being like, oh my god, you're cosplaying a Deku from My Hero Academia. I love My Hero Academia. And like, people freak out. Like, they get really, really happy if they see their favorite character walking around the mall. Like,
yeah.
I also recommend doing it with friends. It's a lot more fun with friends.
I remember hearing this story about a couple of people as Bakugo and Deku going to the Heroes Rising movie, and some mom and her kid were going to see some other movie, and the kid goes, "Look, mommy, anime is real," and it was just like, that is so sweet.
That is really sweet.
That's the kind of moments we all do it for.
Yeah, for real. No, that's really a big reason why. One of the big reasons why I cosplay, actually, because just like out in public, going to cons, you're always gonna get those kids who see you and they're like, oh my, they're looking at a Disney princess and they're like, oh my god, this character I look up to and I love is right in my face, and they look like them and they're real, and I want to hug them and I want to say I love them. Like, I've had so many little children. I remember cosplaying Overhaul at A-Con, and this little tiny Aerie approaches me. And she looks really scared at first, but she's hiding behind her mom's leg. And I crouched down to her level, and I'm like, it's okay. I'm not actually gonna hurt you. and then eventually had her like come out and come and hug me, and everyone was like bawling like really loudly, and I just like held her, and I was like, I love this child. I'm not gonna hurt her, but I love her. But yeah.
That seriously shows like the point at which cosplay is becoming much more accepted outside the doors of the con. Like I I worked for a hero company for a while, and I'd be Woody, Iron Man, Peter Pan, whatever, and occasionally I have to do other characters, and even dressed out at the gas station. As people hollering at me, asking me for photos. People are excited to see cosplay. Period. I was just in Denver, and we were at the mall, and I saw this group of Lolitas, and I was like losing my stuff, man. I was like, can I get a photo, please? And they have like a big old crowd around them, and it's just so people don't even know what it is, but they're still attracted to it. So it's positivity itself. Yeah. It's like wearing cosplay in public is so rewarding. If you wear it to the right place, I'll be straight. It's not always accepted, but normally people are pretty popping about it.
Yeah, you just gotta do it in the right place.
Yeah.
Like just
doing it with more than one person is always good, like a group of friends, because then when you have a group of people and they're all talking, it attracts more people to come in and be like, well, what are you guys doing? I want to join. I want to do it too. And it just inspires people, and it's so cool.
It is really cool. Yeah, I definitely have had people say like, I want to do what you're doing right now, and I'm like, do it. Do it.
Do it. I double dog dare you, punk.
I triple dog dare you.
Step up, cosplay with me. Why don't you? Huh?
I mean, you can seriously become a door for somebody if you're out there. I know that not everybody's about being in public and all that, and you don't have to be. You shouldn't be pressured to. If you want to, you want to. If you don't, you don't. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But if you're out there, you could be someone's door and they could jump into the cosplay because of you. You're like, oh man, what were y'all saying in the server the other day? Oh man, that Baku bottom, I see him and I want to be him, you know. Listen, man, so anything can be a door. Anything.
Yeah. I see all these comments on the videos on the Sowen Sisters YouTube, and they're like, you guys really inspired me to go out of my way and cosplay too. And it just it fills my heart to see that, because that means so many more people are doing it, and they can be doors for other people too. And chain reactions are so cool.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, that's go ahead.
No.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm sure you know at IkiCon how it's really cool how you can keep walking outside, and there's a bunch of shops and restaurants, and there's a little cafe down there, and there's a Barnes and Noble. And last IkiCon, I was Prince Gumball from Adventure Time, and so we went to Barnes and Noble to take pictures with all the books, in the library, and there was this little kid in the graphic novel section holding the Fiona and Cake book from Adventure Time, and there was Prince Gumball on the front. I was like, I don't know, but we got a picture. I don't know. It's that same thing where it's really cool when kids get to see that. The mom didn't know. The mom was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, there's a thing down the road. Some people dressing up. There's a thing.
Just a thing.
Get together.
The best part is
just a little meetup.
What it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually IkiCon. I think it was IkiCon 2017. I was cosplaying a Liltor from Voltron. So I was covered in body paint. I was completely purple. And my friends and we go to Zoe's because we're hungry. And, I show up at Zoe's in this long white wig, and I'm purple. And we sit down, and I hear this little girl, this little girl staring at me. And she looks at her mom, and she's like, Mommy, that boy is my favorite color. and then her mom came up to me and was like, he really wants a picture with you. Can we have a picture? Yes. It's always kids with me. It makes me so happy.
I love that.
Yeah, right. And Yeah, that is also like another point I did have on my outline is becoming an influencer. Like what you were saying, KK. Um, people, it felt like a chain reaction of people saying you inspired me to cosplay, and a lot of people, like I was saying before, how people are like, oh, to be an official influencer, you have to have like 100,000 followers or something, but really you don't have to. I only have 2,000 followers, and I have a lot of people like messaging me saying like, because of you, I want to try cosplay, or you really helped me out with like tips of my cosplay, things like that. You don't have to have tons of a big following to be an influencer, to be a role model with people.
Yeah, you really don't. I only have maybe it's under 2,000 Instagram and maybe 10K on TikTok, but TikTok really doesn't matter because you gain followers like no other on there.
Yeah, for real.
It's a good platform. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good stuff happening on there, but it's easy to get followers. Maybe because I go extra though, so it's easy for me.
Yeah, I just got 2,000 on Instagram too, recently, and I'm really excited about that.
But I was gonna say, being an influencer doesn't have to be categorized by how many followers you have. It's about just the core is influence, your positivity. So if you influence people positively, you're an influencer, and you can have 2 followers. Yeah. But if you're doing well for them, you're still an influencer. As long as
the only category for being a good cosplayer is how cool you are in being with people. If you give people a smile, you're already a good cosplayer.
Yeah.
Wink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. Like I have a pretty decent following on TikTok, and it's one of those things where when I do a live stream, I'll have like between sometimes 50 and 100 people watching. But the thing is, like I try and interact with like almost every person commenting just to like give them a little bit of that interaction. And I can't even begin to say how many people say, I can't believe you're reading my comments. I can't believe you're actually replying. I go to so many bigger creators and they don't even look at me. And it's like, that's like, what do you, like, that's what you want to do though. Like you want to make those connections.
Yeah.
It's like, it's about interacting with who you can.
Yeah. But don't feel pressured to interact. If that's not quite your thing, don't have to do it.
Yeah.
For me, I cosplayed Ida, and I did a pass the brush, and I did some other stupid stuff on TikTok, and I had over 200 comments on this video, and I tried commenting to everyone in character, and it just drained the heck out of me.
Oh no.
But I went.
Sometimes just leaving a like on a comment is good.
Yeah. Like people appreciate the little things. Yeah. Arts are good. Comments are good. It's all good.
Yeah, especially when you get those people, like when you do respond and they're like, oh my god, you actually responded to me. Yeah, I did, because I'm a real person and I appreciate your comments so much.
Like those people that go on your DMs and react to your stories or something, and you're like, hey, what you commented was really funny on the thing that I was saying. We have the same hat, and they go, oh my gosh, you actually responded to me, and it's just like, yeah, we're people, we do things. I've got nothing else to do in my day other than interact with my amazing, awesome following base.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it's really the simple connection between people that really like sparks positivity and everything. Like KK. I've known KK for maybe 2 years now. What has it been?
2, 3, something like that.
Something like that. But every time they run up to me and they're all smiling, like, "Oh my god, it's you!" I'm like, "Oh my god, it's you!" And that's positivity, man. Even if we didn't really talk, it's still like that genuine happiness that flows between people that really sparks, like the relationship.
Like a single high five or something.
Single high five. Yeah. Listen, man, a high five can go a long way.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, I always, every time before I go to a con, I always post on my story saying, hey, if you see me at this con, please do not be afraid to come up to me and say hi or ask for a hug or just ask to even like talk for a little bit. If I say no, it means that I actually have to be somewhere. But like, don't be afraid to just say hi because I love interacting with people and I'm in those certain environments. So, and I love interacting with my fans. So,
Me too.
I just love interacting with people in general. Like, I don't want to say I had fans because I'm just like I'm just a dude that likes to dance. That's the way I feel, you know.
and hey,
And I'm just like hey man, let's be friends. You know what I mean? Like genuine interaction makes me happy. I'm very much introvert. At home, I'm like, leave me alone. But at cons, I'm like, hello.
please.
Yeah.
Also depending on like the character you are. So, like,
Yeah.
just radiate their energy. Like when I'm cosplaying Bakugo, I am a gremlin. Like just 100%, all my gremlin energy comes out. Like I've been told at cons, like I wasn't told this directly, but my friend came up to me, and was like, "Hey," so I was talking to my other friend, and they told me they were saying like that Bakugo cosplayer over there is really good, but they're really scary. And they're like, "Why are they scary?" And it's like they look like they want to burn down the hotel. I was like, God. I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I definitely gave off Bakugo vibes.
It's in character.
I did the walk. I made scary, like angry faces. Like I was. It's fun to be Bakugo. I will say that.
I'll be
All
right back.
Bakugo cosplayers emanate big injury, big energy.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. And oh right, so another thing I did want to talk about is because of cosplay becoming a lot more popular and it becoming a lot more competitive. I don't know if you guys remember that one cosplay documentary that came out a few years ago. That was talking that basically showed cosplay in the light, or I wouldn't really call it a light. I would call it more like a shadow, like the dark side. That it was all just about who could do it better, and it was all just focusing on competitions and stuff. And then I also was bringing around the idea that there's something called professional cosplay. That if you can make money off of this, then you're a professional cosplayer, you're better than everybody else. And you see them a lot at guesting at conventions and stuff. And like we mentioned some of them earlier, people that people might consider as professional cosplayers like Acrocos and Bucket and Phil Mizuno and Inspector Lemon and Moderately Okay Cosplay, people like that. And I personally don't believe there's such thing as professional cosplay because I feel like to be a professional at something, it's like unless you go to like school to like get a degree on cosplay, then I don't think you can really call yourself a professional cosplayer. But I know that Colossal has guested at cons and such, so if you want to give your opinion on what that means, so.
My opinion is vastly differentiated, but that's okay.
No, that's totally okay.
Professional cosplayer, I believe is a thing, but to a degree. Let's say to it, for example, Nigri, Stella Chu, Yaya Han, people who have big names in industry who can live off of their career, definitely professionals. Like Yaya Han has her own line of fabric and foam and all that at Joann's and Michael's and Hobby Lobby. So I consider that pretty professional. But for me, I don't make a lot of money. I do this for the fun of it, but I get hired to go places. So what I say I'm professional to like I said, to a degree, but maybe semi-pro at best for what I do. But it doesn't always have to be about making money with professional or being a professional. You can just be professional about the way you do things, and you could consider professional. Like if you're very say respectful and respected, and you do very well with your craft, like Sledgehammer Cosplay, another guest.
Yeah.
I wish Joe was here, but he's not, and he could definitely vouch in here. He makes props on the daily, commissions regularly, and I would consider him semi-professional because he makes a decent money off it, but he has a full-time job. Aiming for being a professional is it's not the best thing to do because it kind of drains you. I got to where I am because I enjoy what I do, and I've been doing what I do for many years. Beyond cosplay, I've been dancing for over a decade. I was on a b-boy team, a breakdance team back in high school.
Nice.
Yeah. And that allowed me to be a professional choreographer, but not a professional cosplayer. So I translated that into cosplay. So I'm a professional cosplay choreographer, meaning I only do choreography in cosplay, and I can claim that as a right because I make a decent amount of money off that. I make routine for people. I can kind of dissect it that way, but I digress. It just all depends on how do I put this? It's very hard to be a professional, but you don't have to be one. And if you don't think there are, that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. You know, Thigh High doesn't believe it's professional. That's cool. That's all right. All right. I'm just a dude. That's all right with me.
I mean, you did make some pretty good points, though. So, like, yeah, I definitely can see where you're coming from for sure. Like, I think I was coming more from like how people like think that you have to be a professional cosplayer to be good is really where I was coming from. But that's definitely not the case. But
No,
you did make really good points on what a professional cosplayer is.
You don't have to be good to be a professional. I mean, or you don't have to be. Sorry. Well, yes. You don't have to be good to be a professional. That's totally true. Oh my gosh.
No, I know what you mean.
But you don't have to be a professional to be good. Let's say let's see. I'm thinking of TikTokers right now. Like Mochi2. Mochi2 is really good. Not professional.
Yeah. Now you're cutting out.
And
sorry. I'm cutting out a lot. It's okay.
There's a man riding in front of me. I'm driving cross country, and he has a Goku shirt on a motorcycle, and it's pretty cool. Can you hear me now? I will take a break.
Okay. All right. So, does anyone else want to get an opinion on?
From what I've seen from professional things is that professionals make most of their money or make enough to live themselves off of what they make on prints or whatever. And I find it really hard myself to try to make anything to get money off of, like for commissions at all. It's really hard for me to do that. So that's why I don't go professional. But honestly, I feel like I'm professional enough. I'm nice enough to be good in my standard, so it's fine.
You're pretty nice to me, so.
Yeah, being nice goes along the way with being professional. Like, really just have a good face. I mean, not like beauty wise, but like a good character, and you can be professional. But
Yeah.
being professional doesn't mean you're good. Like
Right.
you can be entry tier, like oh man, someone who just did a first cosplay, like an intro cosplayer. They're good. They cosplay. That's good.
Yeah.
Don't get the notion that follows mean good. It doesn't. I pour my heart out for my routines, for my cosplays. I don't have a whole lot of followers, but I think I'm good. So that's all that matters. How you view yourself, now other people view of you.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely feel the same way about that. Like I do put a lot into my own cosplays, and actually just about last year around this time, I only had 600 followers, and now I have 2,000. And while that's still not a big number, like in general, it's still a big number to me. I still get really excited when I finally hit like even when I hit like 15, I was like at 1,000 and 15,000. Now I'm at 2,000. I'm like, yes, it's happening. I never thought I would get this far. I thought I would always stay like.
Yeah.
Like a
I
very
remember.
low, like,
I remember celebrating my 100 followers a long time ago, and most of the followers were just like my friends from school who just so happened to know that I was a cosplayer, and it just blew me away that I reached 100. And
I feel
thinking back
that.
on that now, it's like I'm 200 times that now, or like 20 times that now, and it's just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
wow, like that meme, wow, oh
I
my
feel
god.
Like thinking about it, like I think my most exciting milestone was probably 100 followers. Like, not that I'm ever not excited or thankful when I reach another milestone, but I think like that was the biggest, like, oh my gosh, that's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
entering the
This is
three
how
digit
it
numbers.
starts.
Yeah.
oh yeah, for sure.
The humble
I-
beginnings.
You said milestone, and that's a really important word because milestones make you feel really good. If you set them and you have a goal and you accomplish it, it is the best feeling. The best.
Oh yeah.
feeling.
For sure. All right. Now, let's go on and move on to talk about any like struggles that you can face in cosplay or that you could personally face in cosplay. You all are already like, oh boy, I'm ready to just
I
drop
took
the
notes.
story. You took notes. I love that. You are prepared. but yeah, I would say so. When it comes to cosplay, just like with any other hobby, you're always going to have struggles. Especially if you're putting yourself out there, just doing what you like to do, you're always going to have people who are not going to quite exactly agree with what you're doing, and they don't. It's not that they don't understand; it's that there's just something like about you they don't like. And honestly, when you think about it, ratio between the people who don't like what you're doing and the people who do like what you're doing, that greatly outweighs the people who don't like what you're doing. But I know it can be hard to see the people who are liking what you're doing, because it's like that one saying that's like it takes like 100 or so like good things to outweigh the one little bad thing. And I definitely know how that feels. I've had people. So I am transgender. I'm transgender, female, male, and I have had people say to me before, like you're cross dressing. People have said to me, you're cross dressing. I only cosplay guys. I've only ever cosplayed boy characters. So kind of, like made me feel like, oh no, I'm not a girl. I'm not cross-dressing. I am cosplaying my own gender. And you just kind of have to push that to the side and, you know, look at the people who are supporting you and what you do. So,
And even if you weren't what was it, cosplaying, even if you weren't cosplaying, it wouldn't be considered cross-dressing anyways, because cross-dressing is just, you know, generic man or generic woman for anything. You're actually cosplaying, which is a fictional character, not even near
yeah.
cross-dressing, which is just, you know, your own, like, man persona or female persona, and it's like a fursona, but just
Yeah.
for a generic person. Like,
I think
that's
there's
not
an
even the
actual
same thing.
word. I think it's actually cross-playing is what people call it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like people wear cross-dressing and cosplaying together, and they call it that. But yeah, I'm not cross-playing. But that's one thing.
Yeah, and like similar to that, I think I told you about this. Also, as a transhuman, female to male, it's one of those things where I don't like to cosplay female characters. That's just my comfort level. And I did a male Mirako. Usually, she's a female in the show.
You love your male Miracle so much.
You.
He's such a handsome boy.
Oh. You've not seen Ruben's male Miracle? Go on their TikTok right now, go on their Instagram, and just look at all of it. It's so good. It makes me want to cosplay Miracle.
My heart, I love you. Thank you. But it's one of those things where I had a few people. I think I posted it on my story. People had been saying, "Oh, you can't make a female character a male cosplay. That's fetishizing trans people." I'm like, as a trans person, first of all, like, what do you want me to do? And it's
Besides,
like, yeah.
The thing where you switch the genders has been a huge. It's one of the internet rules alongside Rule 34. I mean, it's generic. It's alongside everything. You know, you can't just, you know, delete that. There's been whole, like, art pieces or whole sections of art where it's just transforming what they would look like if they were the opposite gender.
And like
it's not at all fetishizing anything, even, because it's just, you know, a cosplay. There's no sexual stuff, just bleh.
And my other issue was on a post where I was doing a duet with a friend, and the other half of the duet, it was her female version of Hawks, which they didn't say anything about. So I was like, where is the logic?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, what are some other? I know you took notes, but you know, like, what are some other struggles that you feel like you face or other people can face in general? Or did you kind of already like?
I was gonna say crossplay or cross dressing, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you want to do it, do it. You know, you can't gender a cartoon. You can't gender a character that's not like that's fictional. And in clothing, I regularly wear like women's tops because I'm like, dang, these are comfy.
And they're so soft. They're usually
so
soft.
And I'm like, dang, all right. Well, why does a shirt have a gender? You know?
Yeah, for sure.
That kind of stuff. It people just don't know how to take it because it's a progressive thing. And for people who do opposing gender or non-gendered characters, good on them. Like, holy, like, oh my gosh, push it. It's cool.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just don't let your memes be dreams. Just do it.
Yesterday,
I mean, I'm
small.
Go ahead.
But
other struggles that I've had were like gaining materials for cosplay or like gaining things to make clothes for cosplay, and that's like
Mm-hmm.
I've never really had that much money at all ever. So doing the cosplays that I do is always like I go out to thrift stores and I get the cheap stuff and I do it. But it's always seemed to be a struggle for me at least. But you just save up some stuff and you work the old hand-me-downs that your mom gives you or something, and it works. It works.
Oh yeah, like that is another thing I meant to mention earlier. When it comes to like like what your cosplay is gonna look like, I know it is a big struggle for a lot of people, especially people who are just starting out, that they don't really have the money to buy or commission or even make all these really big eccentric cosplays, and they're stuck with what they already have, or they have to, or yeah, you have to go out to thrift stores and buy pieces of what you think would fit this character, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of my cosplays have been thanks, Yana. A lot of my cosplays, oh, I think it's funny, have been me just wearing clothes that I have in my house, or clothes I'd like buy a T-shirt and like write something on that T-shirt that I think a character would wear. I
Like a
painted
T-shirt
this,
that says T-shirt.
yeah, exactly, Deku's T-shirts, and I did paint this T-shirt. I painted this thing. I painted it. I bought this cheap ass thing from shirt from Walmart, and I just painted over it. And it kind of faded in the wash, but it's okay because it still looks okay.
It's on brand.
Thank you. And but yeah, and then there's also like other things where people are also worried about their cosplays having to be super accurate to the character, and that's not true either. You can even cosplay like AU versions, like alternate versions of this character. You know, that's also the fun thing about cosplay. You just make it to however you want, however you want it to be. You can make this character look like however you want. I've cosplayed Deku, like I don't know if you guys are familiar with what Fairy K and Decora K is. It's it's a Japanese fashion where they put on a ton of accessories and wear a ton of like different colors. Usually it's a lot of like the same color, or a lot of really like bright or pastel colors. And I did that with Deku at a con before, and I put like stickers. I put like it was Lisa Frank stickers all over my face, on my freckles, and I put like a bunch of hairpins in my hair that has like pastel cupcakes and gummy bears and like stars on them and everything. And I went to the con, like people really liked it, and make it out however you want. And I also went with my friend who was doing a fairy cake cosplay, so that also helped. Yes.
Yeah. It's about 7. Did we want to do a Q&A part? Are we at the sponsor? Or did you want to talk more?
I want to do a little like story time thing first. Like if you guys have any like cosplay stories you wanted to tell that like that relate to like the whole positivity and things like that.
I've got one for you.
Yeah, go ahead. Where's yours?
So, within the last 2 years, I was in a really bad accident, and I became an amputee. Like table saw through, and when that happened, literally when it happened, I was like, oh no, I can't cosplay anymore, which isn't true. Like I had to adapt everything to my new lifestyle. I don't know how to
lifestyle.
Like, put that lifestyle. I chose it. But so now for Jack Frost, I need frostbite. For eggs and box trolls, I need like gangrene. for Pinocchio, I need like a little wooden thumb. Like, I have a disability. It's not the same as everybody else's, but it's a disability. So I need to adapt around that and accept that as myself. In the very beginning, I was very much down. I was like, I can't do things properly anymore because I am hyper competitive. I love to compete. It's my entire thing. It's the reason why I cosplay now. And as a competitor, I see things as if you're not right, you're not right. But now I've been like taught a new way of looking. Like, hey man, you're not exactly that character. That's all right. Skin color doesn't matter. Shape doesn't matter. It's all okay. You know, I'll never be the right shape again. So like, I've made something more of what I have. I think my favorite thing is like the Jack Frost with the frostbite. I literally just like do makeup around my nub and it's just like, frostbite, I get it. And people are like, that's so clever. People love that kind of stuff.
I do like it when it's really cool when I see people who have an amputee disability when they take that into advantage in their cosplays. I've seen some really cool cosplays with people like, you know, they don't have legs, so they don't have arms, and it's like they do really cool stuff with it. So
there's this guy, I can't remember his name, but he I know I'm talking to a bunch of weaves, but if you know Marvel and Cable, he's missing an eye. This guy is missing an eye in real life. So he put a little LED inside the socket, and I was just like, that's disgusting, but I love it.
That's horribly awesome.
You know, take everything to your advantage. You know, positivity goes a long way. That's the entire point of this entire panel. But if you view yourself as overweight or underweight or out of shape, it's okay. You can still cosplay because that's you. That's your version of the art. You know, it doesn't matter really. It's all acceptable. It's all good as long as you're like, as long as you're having a good time. It's okay. That's my 2 bits. I'll wander off.
As I've always said, for me even is I look at myself in the mirror and I say, hey, round is a shape too. I'm always in shape.
Round is a good shape.
It's a nice shape.
It's a shape.
The round.
Yeah, that's like if every single cosplay of the same character was the same, it would turn boring. That's the fun part, that everyone has like their own different version, and like you can see other people and get ideas from other people, but at the end of the day, that's your character. Like if you want to be like, that's how people see you. Like that's your character. Like people might recognize you or something.
Like my Denki. Everybody most people know my Denki.
So much. What your Yaru has also been getting a lot of attention.
Oh, like, yeah. That one's pretty good too.
Yeah, but like that's a good point. Like doing something different because people know me really well from my Deku, and my Deku wig, I didn't want to get like the standard like and then the black, like the mesh wig. Yeah. I found this wig where it was a lot more curly and it was all one color. I got this actually. I was inspired by this one cosplayer, Nishikali. I don't know if you guys know who that is. Yeah. Their Deku wig is also very curly, and I was like, I want a curly Deku wig. So I found one on Amazon, and I was like, and I just like brushed it. I like brushed it out and I sprayed it, and it looked like real hair, and it looked good. And I was like, I like this a lot better than the other horrible wig I had before.
Yeah.
But
I bought my Deku wig really cheap, so it had the green and the black to it too, and it just looks very good.
honestly, there's
But I'm
nothing
working
wrong
on
with
it.
Yeah, there's nothing
I'm still
wrong with
working on
having-
it.
But a story I did want to tell. This is a story I really like to tell people because it involves a cosplay contest and also does involve the whole making cosplay your own kind of thing. So this was back in March of 2018. There was a Japanese festival happening in Houston. It happens every year, except obviously for this year. But every year they have it. They have a cosplay contest, and the cosplay contest is separated into 2 categories. There's competitive and non-competitive. Competitive, you get a prize at the end, and then people like runner-ups get like little tiny prizes. The big prize was 2 tickets to Japan. So I was here like, I have to enter this cosplay contest. I have to. And then there was also non-competitive, which was like, you wanted to show off your cosplay, but you didn't want to you didn't really care like win or anything. And I really wanted to win these tickets, or at least get into a certain spot. And this was also the same year that the anime Devilman Crybaby came out. And it just came out that January. And so I really wanted to cosplay Akira. By the way, all of our viewers right now who are minors, please be very cautious if you have not seen Devilman Crybaby, because it is very TVMA. So I don't recommend you watching it if you're a minor, but if you're gonna watch it, be very cautious.
And even if you're not a minor, you be cautious, because I cried for a whole week after watching it. It was so sad.
Yeah. It's not just sad; it's very sexual, very violent. It's
super gory.
It does not hold back. But so yes, I wanted to cosplay Akira, and but I wasn't confident. I didn't feel confident enough to cosplay his Devilman form, and I didn't feel confident enough cosplaying his human form, what he looked like after he became Devilman. And so I wanted to cosplay him before he became Devilman, but I still wanted to do the whole like devil look. So I made myself horns, I made myself the little head wings, I made myself wings, and I made myself like a little fluffy tail, and then I wore it's the same thing. I actually had 2 sets of things, and I did the eye makeup and everything, but I still wore the same outfit that he did before he turned Devilman, and then I also styled my wig the same way. I wish I had a picture of me right now, but they're on my Instagram still. And I made this whole cosplay with everything I had already in my room, including the wig. I ended up randomly finding an uncut, just unstyled black Arda wig. I don't know where it came from. I don't know when I purchased this wig, but I have it, and so I used it. And I made this all in one day, and I binged all of Devilman, and the cosplay contest was the next day. I was so excited. I was so ready. And then I get to pre-judging, and I tell them about my cosplay. I show off my cosplay, and they were actually really impressed by it. They really liked my cosplay, and I told them that I made this all myself. And one of the judges, I'll never forget that they said this. They said, if you did not tell us that you made those horns, I made them out of model magic. They said, we would have sworn you 3D printed those. And I was like, that's the best compliment I've ever gotten. and so after prejudging, we all have to line up. And this, unfortunately, is where my confidence started. When I started seeing all the other cosplays in the competitive side. Everyone else was cosplaying big, like eccentric cosplays, like full-on armor. There was someone cosplaying Serenity from Sailor Moon, and she was in this beautiful, gorgeous dress and had these giant wings. And I was like, I made this in a day, and you guys look like you've been working on these for months, and so this was just kind of a point where I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do this to have fun. I don't think I'm gonna win anything. It's whatever. And so, they're calling out people. I go up, I do my thing, I act like him, and then I get off stage, and then the contest ends, and they're announcing the winners. And I don't expect anything at all. I'm sure you guys can already feel where this story is going, but kind of. They started calling out honorable mentions, and I think, if I remember properly, honorable mentions were best child in show, most creative, best representation of character. There's one other one, and then there was judge's pick. And all of a sudden, I hear, and for best representation of character, Akira Fudo from Devilman Crybaby. And I was shocked. I almost didn't go up because I was like, are they actually talking about me? And everyone was like, no, that's you. Holy shit, what? And so I go up there, and it was one of the greatest moments of my life. One of the greatest moments, and it really did inspire me to keep entering more contests and to keep going out with my cosplays and improving them. And it really does show that when the judges are looking at these cosplays, they're not just looking for the biggest, most detailed cosplay out there. They're looking for the people who really put their heart and soul into this cosplay and really made it their own. And that's what I did. So that's my story.
Hey, no, I know the judges of that year, and I remember talking to him about it after the fact. And they're like, yeah, there's this one person that was really just stood out, and they didn't win in craftsmanship, but they really went out there and proved something. And I guess they were talking about you.
Wait, what?
So
yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
Wait,
the judges.
That was you?
No, I didn't judge you. I didn't judge you. No. I heard from.
Oh, you heard? Okay.
I heard from one of the judges. I know most of the judges that judge at JFest, and and I know the showrunner, and I talk to him every year about hey, how do you think the contest went? Because I love contests backwards and forwards, and they're like, it was really good. And then just for character representation, this person just came out and just gave it their all, and we were in awe. I was like, that, because my entire thing is character representation. I run and gun for it. It's my favorite trophy. I don't care about best in show. I like becoming my character.
Yeah.
So when I hear that someone just went all out, I'm like, yes. So you made it down the grapevine. Good job.
Thank you. I feel so good. But yeah, see, even something as simple as what I did can even catch the interest of people, even if I didn't win first place. But everybody who did, the people who did win first, second, third place, and then judges pick and all that, they all also did a really amazing job. I really loved all their cosplays, and I can't wait until one day I can make cosplays like that. But God, it was such an. I think someone posted the video on YouTube. I think you can watch it actually. Me doing my thing on stage.
It's going on stage for the first time is always the most heart-wrenching thing because you are so scared and you're trembling, but afterwards you just feel on top of the world. Well, for me.
For me, every time that I go on stage, because I've done only 2, 3, 4 small time cosplay contests, and it's always nerve-wracking. But as soon as I get out there, or I do 2 poses or something, then it's when I start feeling, hey, some people are actually clapping for me. Wow, must be my friends. I really like those guys, and it just makes me so happy. And I really it makes me feel hey, I could actually do this. This is great. Somebody might give me a high five sometime.
The cheers you hear when you're on stage are the best thing. Yeah.
That was also me. I was on that stage, because I didn't think all the people really recognized me because the anime had just come out. But there were people who were like, "Yeah, man!" I even had people like ask for my picture afterwards. Like they were like, I was walking off stage and walking out from the contest. They were like, "Your cosplay was so good. Can we please get a picture and everything?" I was like, "Yes, yes, you can." What about you, Ruben? Is there any story you want to tell?
Just trying to think of one. I've only been to 2 cosplay conventions. So
It doesn't have to be at a cosplay convention. It could literally be like an experience that you
Hey,
have.
I went to a mall one time in like full costume.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I have a story that's kind of similar to yours, Oliver, a little bit with competitions. I've never done a cosplay competitions, but I do also do dance competitions at fur cons. Ugh. But, hey. But this was it's called ACFI, Alamo City Furry Invasion. It's near Austin, if any of you know that con, but it's a really small con. Typically I've always kind of had mixed feelings with who runs it. Not that I have anything against them, it's just kind of been like crazy, like hectic. So it's never really a solid thing to do because it's a small con, it's new. But I finally got into the dance competition. This was the first time I had ever really gotten into a competition with auditions, because before it had only ever been you sign up, you get in, whatever, have fun, go for it. And it's one of those things where I was really excited, and then it's that thing where you see the other people's auditions and you're like, oh no, oh dear. But I guess I make it and I do my thing, and then after you do your dance, sorry, I tell stories really backwards and all around, but you do your thing and you're watching the other people perform as well. There are 2 categories, veteran and novice. I was obviously a novice, but it was fun. I had some pretty good feedback from the judges. They were like, "Oh, good job. You did your thing. You followed the beat." I was like, "Okay, I think I did okay." And they're calling at the end. They're calling the awards, and they start with 3rd place, 3rd, 2nd, then 1st for novice. And they call. I wasn't expecting to place. Maybe honorable mention at best. They call 3rd. It's not me, so I'm kind of sitting there. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna place this. It's totally fine. I just came here to have fun. I've never really done an actual dance competition. That's fun. Whatever. They get 2nd. I think it's one of my friends, and then 1st. It ends up being me. Yay. So that was. It was like it's the first competition I had ever won, and I mean now I have to be in veteran, so scary. But it's just similar to your experience where you don't know what the judges are seeing. Like you can't judge it yourself, I feel, because I feel like when you look at yourself, whether you're in cosplay, dancing, creating something, you look at your own work with such a more critical eye. Like you're the one who's gonna nitpick, you're the one who's going to see that little tiny thing that maybe other people might not notice, or they might think, like they might see it, instead of saying it's a flaw, they'd say, oh my gosh, I see what work they put into it. So it's just kind of the same thing of just don't set your expectations so low or so high. Just have fun, just go for it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it felt when I was in that cosplay contest.
Yeah.
I mean, I already said it. So, and same thing, like even just like going to cons and cosplay in general. Like I'm very, very nitpicky about my own cosplays. Other people, I don't care. I'm like, you look awesome. You're cosplaying a character. Like, you look cool. But myself, if I don't look like the way I wanted to, I freak out, and I'm like, people are gonna notice. People are gonna blah blah blah. But this was at a con last year. This was actually where I got inspiration to do this panel. If Phil Mizuno was guesting at this con, and he had his own panel, cosplay positivity panel, and afterwards we were allowed to go up and talk to him and get pictures with him if we wanted. And but before that, he was calling people up to tell stories, and he ended up pointing me out, and I told the same story that I told you guys earlier, and and I was waiting in line to talk to him, and this Suga, who cosplaying from Haikyuu, who was sitting in the front row, suddenly approaches me, and they were like, okay, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry if I'm like suddenly coming up to you out of nowhere, but I just want to say that your Deku is canon. Your Deku is amazing. I love your Deku. Like, and this is like the con I was doing Deku also. So I was like, huh? What? and they were just like your wig and your outfit, and I was like, and then I mentioned that the UA uniform I'm wearing is handmade, and they're like, that's handmade. I could have sworn that you bought that. I was like, no, I had my friend help me out to make this, and they were just so amazed. I will never forget that Suga. They were so nice, and I wish I got their Instagram, but I never did. I'm so sad. but even just like those little things, and then even Phil himself, when I came up to him and he saw me, he was like, "Your Deku is perfect. Like you are Deku." And I was like, and hearing that's another thing that goes into the whole role model, like influencer thing. Having somebody who is that big in the community tell me that my cosplay is good is one of the greatest feelings for sure. It feels really, really nice. I've even had one of my all-time cosplay role models. Well, now her name is totally slipping my. Oh, Rika. I don't know if you guys know who Rika is. Rika has been a long time in the cosplay community, ever since long before I even was I started cosplay, and she was at IkiCon last year, 2019, and I ended up meeting her, and I was cosplaying with a ugly Christmas sweater Deku, and the moment she saw me. Okay, keep in mind, she does not speak English. She only speaks Japanese, so she had a translator with her. But she said, kawaii. She told me I was cute. And I was like, the best thing I could have ever heard from you. But yeah, so that's kind of like, I want to make people feel like that. That's my goal. I want to compliment who looks up to me and just make them feel as good as I felt when my role models told me those things. So, but yeah.
Yeah, that's like that thing where along the same lines as people saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe you replied to me. It's just one of those things where you don't know what someone's going through. You don't know what your words are how much they can really help them, even if, like you said, even if it's just liking their comment or just saying, well, or thank you, or just saying, oh my gosh, your cosplay is amazing. It's just one of those things that's going to give them the same boost that maybe you got from someone else.
Exactly. All right.
Be the smiles you want to put out in the world.
Yes, exactly. All right. So, there's nothing else you want to say. We should let the disembodied voice know that we're ready for the Q&A time.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, hello.
I'm here.
Hello. So yeah, you guys can go ahead and start asking us questions.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, so do y'all first and not me.
Okay. But yeah, so if you wanna, you can either do individual questions, or if you wanna ask us all the same question, just we'll answer. We'll do our best.
Yeah.
And
I can be reading off questions either from the YouTube live chat or from the in-character questions text channel inside the virtual panel server. It's really up to people, because we have a bunch of people in both. So I'm just going to be reading questions off of both, if that's all right with you.
Cool. Yeah, that works.
Excuse me. So, are there any types of questions in particular that you guys are looking for answering?
Any.
Yeah, really any. I mean, as long as they pertain to cosplay and just the topic of today's panel, basically. So
that's fair.
Maybe or even if they just really cosplay in general.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Also, Colossal.
About our experience.
Really quick, I didn't even realize that I didn't even really realize about your hand. And then I heard you mention the whole thing where it was like, yeah, I used it to be like Frostbite took it off, and I was like, that's really cool. And I thought the thing with he was in Deadpool 2. He's one of the X-Men. You mentioned Cable. I thought that was also really cool. I love when people take the things that make them unique and just cram them into their cosplaying characters. I think it's really cool. Let's see. All right, we have a really good question too.
Yeah.
So the first one is, how packed are conventions usually?
Depends on which one you're going to.
It really does depend.
So
yeah,
for me, Anime Matsuri, which I don't go to anymore because of obvious reasons. If you know, you know. If you don't go. Don't know. Just don't go.
Don't go to Matsuri.
It's normally like around 50,000. That's what they claim. Acon's maybe 45, 50.
Yep.
Ikicon is 25 to 15. Oni is 10,000. They had under 10,000 last year, I guessed it. And then San Japan is around 35 to 50. It fluctuates year to year.
Yeah.
I can't tell you why I know these numbers. I just do.
Yeah, and then there are a lot more smaller cons like Delta H Con. It really just depends on how big the convention center or hotel that's being held at is.
Yep.
And how popular the con is in general and how much of a following it has.
Yeah.
Yeah, it varies on how big the con is. From Delta H, who has maybe 15,000, if that, under 1,000 possibly, is a very small con.
Yeah.
To Dragon Con, which takes up an entire city.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Dragon Con was
it just
it's
depends.
so wild. That's like a dream con to me.
Yeah.
I would love to go.
I can also kind of relate to that too.
Yeah, they have a parade and everything. It varies con to con, really.
Yeah.
Do your research.
And it's not even really how
Research.
many people are at the con that makes a difference, but also the location, like Oliver mentioned. My first convention, I think, was Anime Austin, and it's a really small con.
Yeah.
But the entire thing was taking place not in the lobby. Well, it was taking place in the lobby and the hallways of a hotel, and so there really wasn't a convention space, which just made it feel all the more small.
Except for the ballrooms they had there.
Yeah.
Which were also really small.
The entire thing was tiny, and it was really funny.
Yeah.
I actually do have. Excuse me. I actually, speaking of location, that is definitely very, very important, because if you guys, I don't know if you guys did go to A-Con last year, but they held it. Basically there's a lot of stuff that happened with the owners at A-Con, and they were looking to shut it down. But then people were like, no, please don't shut down A-Con. We'll buy it off of you. So they did. And A-Con got new owners.
Yep.
And let's just say that the location they chose was a very bad one. They chose to hold it. It was outside. They held it at Fair Park. Well, it wasn't that the convention itself was outside. It's that you had to walk to and from different buildings of the con.
Outside.
In 95-degree
weather.
And if you didn't have a badge, a lot of people, they like to ghost a con where they just don't buy a badge, but they do the lobby stuff.
Yep.
And you had to have a badge to get into the building. So if you were ghosting it, you had to be outside. And you had to be dying in the heat of Texas in the middle of summer.
Like, I was supposed to go in a cosplay that had like a couple layers, a jacket, and like a full face of makeup, but I was like, nope, we're not going to do that. So I have a Rocket cosplay from Marvel. So I was like partial suit, ears, weapon, let's go. I mean, just one prop. It was still really, really sweaty.
Someone asked.
I debuted Overhaul at that con.
I bet.
You had a mask and everything. Oh my god.
So,
yeah. When it comes to conventions, it can change year to year.
Yep.
For example, InkyCon 2015, it was a small convention center in dead middle of Austin. Then it went to a larger hotel out on the border. And then in the next 2 years, we're moving to the Jenga building in Austin, I think. So it changes. You never know what the next number is going to be.
Yep.
So
And
just
isn't
kind of,
IkiCon changing again?
I don't know.
yeah.
they said
So
they were gonna move out to Leander.
Huh.
I
Is it
thought.
Leander?
I love that.
I thought so.
Much.
See, I'm in a group with all the con runners in America. I kind of snuck my way in there. And, so IkiCon is looking at the Jenga building in downtown Austin for the next 2 years, I think.
Huh.
So just
You
like
didn't see that.
dead center.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
So
At least they'll have bus routes.
We have.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Capital Metro is
I'm just gonna
super
miss the
cool.
boba place.
Oh,
I
because
miss everything about that.
IkiCon was at the Renaissance Hotel, which was right next to a boba place, which was cool. Tapioca.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just my
Tapioca, and
everything.
that little sushi restaurant,
Oh yeah.
and the Amy's, and the Five Guys, and the
Barnes and Nobles with the Starbucks.
The
yeah,
cows! I don't want
the cows.
For those of y'all that don't know, there were little metal statue cows in the park area that you could climb on
Yeah.
and stuff.
They were stone.
Oh,
They
were
were
they stone?
stone.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
They were
They
stone.
were stone, not
They
metal.
were quartz. I think quartz or marble or something because they're long lasting like that, or granite because
I
it's
love all the
Austin.
photo opportunities.
Granite is a big thing.
There's also a really cool gazebo. So I found a question that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
Kelso
ahead.
Queen asked, "Is it a good idea for a girl to squish it in to look flat-chested when cosplaying as a boy to look more like a male character, or should she just roll with it?"
I would
I
like
can't
to-
answer.
I mean, I mean, right now I'm wearing a binder, so if you can, or if you would like to, and if you feel like you should, or I don't know, if you feel like it's a good idea for you, go off and do it. You don't have to if you feel like you don't have the money, or you don't have the confidence to do it, or you want to hide it from your mom or something, then you don't have to do it. I used to not have a binder for the longest time, and I would wear like a really tight sports bra, or the days of con where I just accidentally forget my binder at home, and I'd be like, oh, oops, guess I better just have stuff out. And I did that, and it was fine. It was fine, and I still looked okay, and I didn't. It's really up to how you act rather than what you look
Oh
like.
yeah, 100%.
In most of it's how you act rather than what you look.
Yep.
In my
Yeah.
opinion, from what I've seen.
I would like to say though, if you are going to bind for cosplay, I highly recommend that you stick to using an actual binder. Do not use ace bandages. Do not use saran wrap. Don't use. I know people use duct tape sometimes. Don't do any of that. You can seriously injure. You could end up in the hospital. I've had friends who have gotten broken ribs from using ace bandages, and they had to go to the hospital, and then they couldn't bind for a very long time. Don't do it. I recommend getting binders from GC2B.
GC2B.
Yeah, GC2B.
Thank you so much.
They make binders specifically for people who want to just bind. Even if it's just for cosplay.
And I
I
know some of those binders are up to like $50 and not everybody can get to that.
Yeah.
So
actually,
even if you
GC2B is fairly affordable. They're like 20.
25, I think. 25 with the shipping.
Mm-hmm.
well,
That's pretty fair.
25 plus shipping in some places it's still going to be like $40-50.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Depending on how you where the shipping is too.
Very
I know
true.
I can't afford one of those, so I have to go look on Amazon. And if you do look at Amazon for binders, make sure you read the reviews on it first,
Oh yeah, 100%.
rather than anything else.
You
Go
make
to the
sure you do
reviews
your
before you
research.
buy, and make sure it's not the ones that look really fake. Don't trust those reviews.
A tip for binders, I just know this from a few friends of mine. One, don't sleep in it. Please don't.
Yeah.
And two, for reviews, if you hit the search function, a little TMI, but if you know your size, you can search that, and you might be able to find an exact review for yourself.
Yeah.
And see how they did with it, and that might help you a little bit better.
They also
Yeah.
they
Oh,
asked a follow-up
go ahead.
question: what would be better, a binder or a corset? And they're kind of two different things when you think about
They're
it.
very different things.
A corset.
I have a corset and a binder. So my corsets, I always try to focus on how it makes my waist look or how it makes
Yep.
my hips look, and because that it's usually I would wear a corset for like a female character or something, and a binder would usually be for a male character.
Yeah.
Usually, not always, of course.
Yep.
No gender in cosplay.
Yep.
But the way that it is, it shapes different things and it does different things on your body, but it still can hurt. Both of them can hurt your ribs. So
Yeah.
just be conscious of how much it's tightening and how you feel. And
Yeah.
don't wear anything more than 5 hours from what I've seen. Nothing more than 5 hours.
Yeah.
You could. I
Right.
thought it was 8.
Definitely around 8 to 10 hours, but it
8
depends.
to 10,
on, like,
but for
Depends on
me
your
and
comfort
all my
level.
friends, and most of my friends, it's always like, don't wear it longer than 5 hours.
Yeah.
Even if I don't follow that rule myself.
yeah.
So I worked for the Renaissance Festival, or I did,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of women wear corsets. And while if you pick the right one, you find the right sizing for you, it's really good. It's great. You can wear it almost daily. But a lot of times it can severely harm you if it's not the right size. So,
Yeah.
but
100%.
I know you asked if there's a difference between corsets and binders. There absolutely is. And if you're looking to hide, use a binder. If you're looking to shrink, use a corset.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty fair rule. We have not quite a two-parter, but two separate questions. The first one is pretty simple, and I think I actually have a pretty good answer for this. The two-part answer. So the question is, what's the cheapest to cosplay for the first time ever, Eri or Fim Todoroki? And all I'll say is, if you just have a wig and some makeup, you can do a casual of pretty much any character you want. But with those two characters in mind, Eri, SewingSisters.g, she cosplayed Eri. All she needed was the wig and an oversized t-shirt. And that was, like, it.
And if anything, if you did take photos of Eri, you can edit in the horn.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can edit
100%.
in the scar, even. I know when I do Todoroki, I just put lipstick on my face. I just straight up just go stick to face, rub it all over, and it was fine.
Yeah, you can do that pretty easily.
I just recently got liquid latex, so that was the last time I did it. I actually put on liquid latex, and it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Even if I just came back over it with lipstick. So if you have the right makeup, if you have the right stuff, or right enough stuff and a wig, you should be good with whatever.
Yeah. Another really good question that I saw, let's see, it's right here. It's tips for interactions at cons, because I'm way too shy, but at times I do like acting silly. And
So,
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. Okay, fine. When I first started out as cosplayer, I was really shy and stuff, so I put on cosplays that made me feel like the character, or made me feel like how the character was, and the character was usually confident, so I cosplayed the character that made me confident.
Yep.
And so interacting with people was always just slightly easier. But I'm just a big, bold, brass, kind of a dumb boy, so I would go up to people and go, "Hi, I'm bro. Shake my hand and we'll be friends." And it's worked.
Yep.
It worked. I have friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say another thing. Another thing. If I personally have social anxiety, so a thing that if you're nervous to go up to people, without overthinking it, make sure you have a plan of what you want to say, or even practice poses at home for your cosplay if you're looking to get a photo.
Yep.
Because my very first cosplay photo ever, I think her name, I don't know, she's a bigger cosplay, Ash's Cos or Ash Cosplay. Okay. So I was in Yuri Katsuki from Yuri on Ice, and she asked for a photo with me, and I turned around, and I was like, oh my god, so I wasn't prepared either. And it's the worst photo I've ever taken in my entire life, and I wish it never happened. It was so awkward. I was like, But
I
like,
understand what that bad.
yeah, so I guess just have something in mind. Don't just like go for it unless that's your thing, unless that's how you work.
Yeah.
Well,
Great, but have something in mind.
I personally, personally, because I am also the same way. I can be very shy, but I feel like when you're at a con, you have to remember that these people are probably feeling the same exact thing you're feeling. They probably are just as shy as you are. And the thing is that they're just as much of a nerd as you are. And and that's the thing about being in cons. You're surrounded by people who have the same interests, who have the same experience or similar experiences, similar feelings. If a big way to like start a conversation at cons, but like if like what I would do is that I would find people who are cosplaying the same thing I'm cosplaying, and then I'm like, hey, you're cosplaying a character from the same show I'm in. We're gonna hang out now or something. If they're cool,
we're hanging out now.
but that's kind of how I've like made a lot of my con friends. I'm just like you're also cosplaying Aaron from Attack on Titan. Like we do the Spider-Man meme at each other, and then and then we just hang out the whole time. Like that's basically how I interact with people at cons.
You just find a friend. You're like that one.
Yes, this one right here. Like, that's actually how like, and also like even like joining panels can really help you make friends at cons and stuff. And that's how I became friends with Crew and Sisters, both Glad and Mar. I ended up first I asked them to be part of this other like panel they wanted to do. That ended up happening. We met at A-Con, but it was like really awkward. And then both Mar and Radio was really awkward. I was like, hi, and they're like, hey, and I was like, okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
And then later on Sunday, Mar was cosplaying Finn from Adventure Time, and eventually approached me, was like, say hi, Booty Prince. And we're like in the artist alley, and I was like, huh? What? Oh, hi. And at first I didn't realize that it was her. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's you. We hung out a little bit more. But Delta H Con, when I was Shinzo in the PJ Party panel, that's when we really started talking, interacting with each other. And then eventually Mar was like, on Sunday, Mar was like, hey, so I think you're cool. I want to be friends with you. And I was like, okay. So it just happens. Sometimes it might take a few interactions, but it happens.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm a little different than that. Because I compete, I'm very much about people's costumes, and I simply, if I like someone's costume, I go up like, hey, I really like your Eren Yeager. How'd you make it? How'd you make the maneuver gear? I want to know, and they'll tell me, and that's a good way to start a conversation.
Yeah.
Or another way is, which is probably my favorite, is have business cards of your cosplay handle. Like, hey, do you have an Instagram? And just exchange them if they have one, or you just give them theirs and you just run off. Like, that's a door. Oh, oh, my magnet fell off. That's crazy. All right, point of view now. So don't laugh at me. Okay. So I'm in a car, obviously. So just like give them your card. It's a good way to really interact with people. I know that beyond cons, I'll go to like Kira or a rotating sushi place, and I'll put my business card on the rotating belt, and someone will pick it up and follow me, and then we'll talk later. Like, it's the simplest way. It's a doorway to someone's life.
That's such a good idea.
Dude.
And then next time we go to Kura.
Next time we go to Kura.
You can't be obnoxious with it, all right? You gotta be really sly with it. Don't put weird
slow-mo.
stuff there.
You're cutting out.
Yeah, quite a bit. This is quite entertaining.
And then
The sloths from Zootopia.
I can't believe you work at the DMZ. DMV. I'm sorry.
Well, he's stuck now.
He's gone.
He's frozen inside.
If it's alright, I'd like to make one point about when it comes to interactions at cons. I have seen a lot of people not be considerate about how someone else might handle social interactions. And so, like, for example, as I've mentioned, SoandSisters.g, she's usually a shy person when it comes to new people. Oh, is he coming back to life? Maybe not.
Okay.
But so...
No, he just muted himself.
So usually she's very shy normally when it comes to new interactions, and one of her most popular characters to cosplay is Deku. And one time, someone cosplaying Bakugo, no relation to Oliver, booked it towards her, just screaming Deku, and she just didn't know what to do and just hid behind me because she was terrified. It was really surprising. It was way too much energy. She didn't know who this person was either. And they were trying to chase her around the convention, which is just, I didn't think it was cool in the slightest, and I don't think most people would.
Yeah.
But all I want people to do is to try and keep in mind, you may have a lot of high energy, you may be a huge extrovert, but not everybody is. And so keeping calm and sort of staying in your own little personal bubble can make interactions with one another a lot easier. Because I guarantee you, if you want to talk to a really popular cosplayer, they might not be the best at really eccentric interactions, and they're a lot more likely to like you and want to talk to you if you're not scaring them off. With that being said,
if you're not yelling and screaming and
with that being said, you don't have to be
being terrified.
You don't have to be super closed up and hidden. You don't have to be afraid of them by any means. To contrast that with her her sister, SoandSisters.m, loves talking to people, loves interacting with people, still doesn't quite appreciate it when people like scream and yell at her for the first time. But if she's hanging out with someone that she knows, they'll be loud and crazy. But it depends on how much you know someone. And if you don't know them at all, I'd say play it safe. Always try to keep an eye over your interactions. Try to make sure you're not scaring off someone else, because the cosplay community as a whole, it's a big place where a lot of people that may have either social anxieties or more intrusive personalities can find a home. And because of that, it's a lot more common to find people that have those sort of mannerisms at a convention. And so a con is really not the place you want to be yelling and screaming at people you don't know.
Yeah, another thing I do want to also point out with interacting, when you go, if you see somebody cosplaying a character that you like, please remember that is not a character. That is a person, a living, breathing person. They are, and I had a really bad experience about like this at Delta H when I first cosplayed Bakugo. I legit had this girl. I don't know how old she was, but I'm pretty sure she was a minor, around like maybe she looked like she was 13. She stalked me the entire con, and she would call out to me, going like, "Oh my gosh, Kachan," and I'm like, and the first time was okay. She asked for a hug, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And I was like in character, like, ugh, okay, whatever, I guess if I have to. And then she came a second time, and then she came a third time, and I was like, okay, this is the last hug you get. And and then I noticed throughout the rest of the day she was following me, and she would come up behind me and hug me from behind, and then she would run off with her friends. And the last time she did it, I turned around and I was like, you need to stop. I am a grown-ass adult.
Yeah.
You cannot be doing this to you are making me uncomfortable. But
Yep.
she giggled and acted like it wasn't a big deal. And then she said, oh my gosh, Ka-chan, what, you gonna get a restraining order on me? And I was like, I am very tempted now. Thank you for giving me that idea. But yeah, it just, please understand that I'm not actually Bakugo when I'm cosplaying him. I'm not actually Deku when I'm cosplaying Deku. I'm not actually Overhaul when I cosplay Overhaul. I am Oliver. I am myself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%. I had a very similar experience with the one time I cosplayed Stain. It was at a My Hero Con, and so everyone was in My Hero characters. And there were two types of two cosplayed characters that I had a lot of interactions with. So they were Togas and Shigarakis. The Shigarakis were always like, we hate each other. Let's do a photo. That would be cool. And I was like, yeah, that's fun. I like that. They were always super chill. The Togas, on the other hand, not that there's necessarily anything wrong with people that cosplay Toga, but the one thing I would always hear is Mr. Stainy. And there were a couple of times where these cosplayers, they looked like they were in like middle school, like 7th grade, like cosplaying Toga, were essentially trying to hit on what they knew as Stain as Toga. I'm an adult. I may have recently turned 18 back then, but I was like, I'm a grown person, and I do not like having those kinds of interactions with someone who is clearly underage. Even then, I don't know the person, so even if they were above age, I was in a relationship. I wasn't really open to any of that, and so I think something to keep in mind is the cosplayer is not the character.
Yeah. Big rule.
Big thing.
Another
big rule.
Yeah, another thing that I do see a lot at cons, especially recently, is the circles where people will surround a cosplayer and chant and stuff. Well, this isn't particularly bad, like in general. It's just the way you approach. Like, if you're going to do this, please get the person's consent first. I mean, we've all seen it with the Todoroki thing, but my good friend Bizarre Shinx, who's another Fox cosplayer, was at my Hero Con, and we went upstairs onto the roof, and they were wearing rainbow wings for Hawks. And immediately, a bunch of the kids that were up there saw them and were like, "Hawks is rainbow wings, gay Hawks!" And then they just surrounded my friend and was like, protect. And then they looked so confused and so like scared. And I was just standing there in my Overhaul cosplay, and my other friend cosplaying a villain area. We're just standing there like, what do we do? So yeah, keep that in mind as well.
Yeah. So. Another similar sort of interaction is things along with people and their ships, like their OTPs and their 1-2 pairs. I haven't necessarily dealt with too much, but I've seen a lot of interactions of people cosplaying one character out of their OTP, and they'll spot the other person that's part of their favorite ship, and they'll act like they are the two characters and try to entice them into different things. It's one thing if it's like two cosplayers that meet are kind of friends and they're like, it would be funny to do like a ship photo shoot. That's one thing. But if you're like, I don't know, if you're a Todoroki and you ship Todoroki x Bakugo, and you see a Bakugo and you like sprint over them and try to, I guess, play out your fantasy, they're not necessarily going to be into it 100% of the time. And I'd say it kind of goes along with the other thing. Play it safe. If you can talk to them about it outside of the characters, you can outside of role playing. You'd be surprised how many people at conventions don't want to role play the characters, especially in person. Every now and then there will be a different one. There will be like two people that are like, they're cosplaying the characters. They kind of want to like have some spicy role play. But the majority of people I've met personally don't want to have the personalities of the characters they're cosplaying, especially considering that I like the villains and I really like people that cosplay hated characters just because it's fun and funny. And it would be a whole nother thing if they were essentially taking up the personality or persona of the character. Not a lot of people like to take up the personalities of the characters they're cosplaying.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's I saw
Yeah.
another really good question after all that heavy stuff was, is it a good idea to pack one bag for the day like you would at an amusement park, or pack as lightly as possible for a con?
I like to have a backpack on me, so I can always have like a really tall, small sewing kit or a big water bottle, enough to like a big enough bag. If any of my friends don't like to carry bags, they can always put their stuff in my bag, and we can all go around together, and they'll always have their stuff on me, and I'll be around them to, be helpful.
Yeah, a good thing that I'd recommend bringing is if you have a hard time eating during cons, like I have a really hard time sitting down and eating during cons, especially just being everywhere trying to make it to panels, just being, I don't know, too anxious to eat, whatever it is. Two things that I find to be really good are those little packets of sports drinks, like the powder that you can just like throw in a water bottle, or also, as long as like check the ingredients, make sure you're not allergic, but like the Gatorade chews, like the little electrolyte things, and granola bars, just like small
or
little
protein bars too.
Yeah, just anything like that, not just like
Yep. I know it's kind of, for what I've experienced, it kind of depends on, are you staying at a hotel that's really close to the con, or the con is taking place at the hotel you're staying at? Is it it's close enough to your house so you're driving to and from your house? Or are you staying in an Airbnb that's like a 30-minute drive away? It really depends on the situation and just how much time you think you'll be there. Some people I know like to do multiple cosplays a day, especially on like Fridays and Saturdays. And a lot of conventions will have raves, sometimes Friday or Saturday nights. And I know a lot of people want to go and change into something a lot more comfortable than their full-on cosplay for a rave, because it's a room full of a bunch of people dancing, getting sweaty. It's too warm for a lot of cosplays. And so I don't know if you guys have gone and changed, but what are your experiences with changing at cons?
I usually have like a friend who has a room at the convention, or somebody who has a car at the convention, where I could go and I say, hey, I have a change of clothes in my bag. Is it okay if I leave my clothes at your car or in your room just for today? And then when it's time for the rave, I can come back and get it. And when it's after the rave, I can come back and get my other clothes, and I can just have it for like a tiny little day pack thing. Because a lot of raves, they don't allow bags at all. So if you have somebody who's a friend, or someone that you've met at the con who you've known for the last couple days or so, and you're like, hey, is it okay if I put my stuff in your car? Is it okay to put my stuff in a tiny little corner of the room that you'll come back to and use your bathroom to change into? It's always really nice like that, if you have somebody else, you go and do that and change. And you're like,
I've got 2 cents for that. I typically don't trust people I just met that weekend. Just rule of thumb, trust those you've known for a while. And 2, a con is a marathon. You're up from the opening panel to the end of the rave most of the time. I like to go to sleep early, but I'm old. So pack a water, pack a snack, plan for the day. Because like pack light, because you don't want to be carrying around a massive backpack of water supplies. It's cumbersome. Just have even a fanny pack that goes a long way. They're cool, they're stylish. Anything just to help you throughout the day really is the way to go. I personally am always near a con. Rule of thumb, I always am in a room attached to the con, because I'm constantly doing stuff. But a car is a good place to keep stuff. If you don't have a place, find a friend that you know, that you trust. Just reiterate what everybody else said. Be safe about it. Really. Wear a mask.
Yes, wear a mask.
Speaking of the
wear
door.
a mask.
Wear a mask.
I know.
I'm about to switch places.
some conventions will actually have a sort of cosplay repair room where they'll have light supplies and materials to where to where you can repair your things. And in terms of planning out for the day, I would say don't worry about doing everything in one day. There are a couple things that you'll want to do earlier, like, for example, if you're wanting to go
don't overbook yourself.
Yeah, don't overbook yourself. You're gonna have downtime, and sometimes the downtime where you're just hanging out with friends or people you met that day is some of the most fun you'll have the entire con. Yeah.
A good thing to do is when you plan out your day, don't overbook yourself.
Yeah.
Give you some time to breathe. But the way I like to do it is photo shoots in the morning, period. That way you're looking good and you're good to go.
Yep.
And just kind of space it out throughout the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And by then you're ready to get out of costume and go to the rave or hang out, play cards, get humanity or whatever.
100%.
Yeah. Another thing about like bringing stuff and everything. There are going to be times though where you might be wearing a cosplay where you can't carry anything with you. So I recommend having a friend with you is able to carry something, at least like water or have snacks or something. Like somebody in your friend group. I always tell friends that if you're gonna go to a con, go with friends, go with people you know. Like, and there's always the mom friend in the group who always makes sure everything's prepared for everybody. So there's that too.
Yeah, 100%.
Always have a handler. Like if you are in a large costume, have a handler.
Or something like one of our panelists has like a hawk where they can't put a backpack on or something.
Yeah.
Because they have the wings.
Big ass wings.
It's very common to find the friend in the group without a cosplay being the pack mule carrying all the bags and stuff. And it's it's fun to do.
That was you a few times, I think.
Oh yeah, I was that person quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like very much.
Always ask that person though, like if they don't mind, like
don't
ahead
just
of
shove
time.
their stuff. Yeah.
Just like
Don't just shove your stuff at them.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're doing a photo shoot. Could you just like hold my bag for a good, hour or so?
Yeah.
A good example is
or like 10 minutes.
A good example is I made an all-leather Hercules, and I can't really do much inside of it. So like I shoved the phone and I cannot bend. I can crouch. I can't bend. So I had to like shove my phone inside my my weight belt, and that's about it. That's all I have. So I have to have my friends help me out because otherwise I can't reach anything.
Yep.
It's leather.
100%.
Plan it out. Like if you know you're.
Well.
Oh, he cut out again.
oh dear.
Oh.
Well,
poor boy.
As Colossal's kind of dying, it is 8:00. I didn't know if you guys wanted to start closing some things down.
I know the at 9 there's supposed to be another panel with the how to do male contour and stuff. So if you're in for more tips and tricks and stuff on how to cosplay, keep that in mind.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to answer like another question or two, or do you think this is a good place to stop?
I think we've covered quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
If there's any more like important questions or any important things,
we can do our shout outs for them.
He's still going.
I think he was saying we should get a couple more, because. But that's up to you guys. I mean, it is my channel, but you guys are running the con, so I don't want to do this more than I'm supposed to.
I was just gonna ask if you wanted to take control of the outro for the little panel for this thing.
Yeah. Outro.
Outro time.
Speech.
So what have we learned today, kids? We've learned that basically just be yourself when you're cosplaying. Don't worry about what other people are saying. Don't worry about what you look like, whether it's your skin color or your weight or your height or your gender. Don't worry about how much money you have. Don't worry about how accurate your cosplay looks.
Yep.
Just know that cosplay has always meant to be fun. It's always meant to be just a fun hobby. Some people make money off of this hobby, but in the end, it is just something that we all do. And in the end, we're all just a bunch of nerds dressing up as characters that we like.
Yep.
But yeah, that's basically fine. If you guys wanna like say your handles again, just in case there were people who weren't here in the very beginning. I'm the Amputee Prince on both Instagram, here on Discord, and then on TikTok I'm Lil Squid Prince, which is like Lil, like if it was like a rapper name or something, and then Squid Prince. I'm mostly known as Thigh High Booty Prince. Like when people approach me, they're like, "You're Thigh High Booty Prince." Yes, I am. Hello. But yeah.
Yep.
If anyone else wants to.
If anyone else is gonna. Oh, wait, sorry.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
I am Dog Feathers on every platform you could think of except Twitter. I'm Dog Feathers with 2 S's.
Yeah. KK?
I'm KK Cause on Instagram. I'm KK Cause on whatever that light's doing. I'm KK Cause on TikTok. I think I have at some point a Twitter somehow. I don't remember the password, so I'm not on there.
Yep.
On most things, even on Discord, I'm KK Cause even.
Yeah.
So it's just like whatever, I'll be there. You just hit me up or ask any questions that you haven't. If you thought that you didn't have your question answered, just hit me up, or any of us really. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, can you hear me now? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, man. I'm driving across the country, so it drops out. So I am Cosplay Senpai. That's COLOSSAL _ Senpai SENPAI on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Tumblr. If you use that, I don't really do that anymore.
People still use Tumblr.
About competing, anything here. If you need a thumb joke, I got you. Yeah.
I'm the sponsor. You know who I am, and my social media is no. You're not allowed to know.
No.
Good luck finding it. If you do, follow me. If you can't, you're good. But yeah.
It's more important.
He doesn't need your follow.
My social media is good luck.
Yeah, pretty much. All right.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and listening to us speak about this. I know it is a topic I really need to be discussed, and I really hope I can do panels like this in the future, because I've been wanting to do this panel for quite a long time. And thank you to KK Cost and Colossal Senpai and Dog Feathers for being guests on here. And
Thank you for having us.
Of course, and for Disembodied Voice for
thank you so much.
No problem. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Our mighty host.